Hello and welcome to this pit stop for Petrichor, designed by David Chircop and David Turczi, published by Mighty Boards and Ape. In Petrichor, each player plays as a different type of rain, attempting to load clouds up with their particular rain in order for it to be rained onto these crop tiles down here, in order for them to be triggered during harvesting, in order to score points, to be the winner over either 4 or 6 rounds for a longer game. On a player's turn, they're going to play weather cards in order to trigger actions, and there are 4 different types of weather in the game. First type of card is a frost card, and that will allow you to get clouds onto the board, and they will come with one of your particular type of rain in them. Second type of weather is sun, and that's going to allow you to add 2 drops of rain to any cloud you're currently in. Now, all clouds start as light clouds, but if they ever get to 4 or more rain in them, they then become thunderclouds, making them more likely to rain during the weather phase, which will come a little later. In a wind action, you can move one cloud that you're present in, and then if clouds ever come together, they merge, one of them disappears, and again, if they ever have 4 or more rain in them, they become a thundercloud. And the last weather is rain, and that will allow you to rain 1 drop each from 2 clouds in which you are present. Now, each of the different types of crops require a certain amount of rain to be on them before they fully develop. In this case 3, we've got 3 there. This now becomes a developed crop, and it is ripe for harvesting if that triggers. Now, every time you play an action card, you're going to have to do one of 2 things. You're going to have to either vote for that particular type of weather or the next one clockwise on this track to trigger, like that. Or the other thing you can do is you can take vote markers from these dice to try and reduce them down. Each time you do it will score you 1 point, and that's one way a harvest will trigger. Once one player has passed, every other player gets to take 1 action, and there is an option of a double action on your turn, but that will cost you more cards, and 2 cards act as a wild. And then we're going to get to the weather phase. We're going to check and see which 2 types of weathers have got the most votes on them. The 2 players who have the most votes in those types of weathers are going to move up on the weather vote track, and then those weathers are going to trigger. Now, going clockwise, the different weathers are, when it's frosty, all of these light clouds will become thunderclouds, again making them more likely to rain. When it's sunny, then every player is going to get to double their presence in any one cloud. Now, if any cloud gets to 8 or more rain in there, then it's going to empty out. And again, should that emptying cause the minimum number to trigger, then this develops and becomes ripe for scoring. Now, when it's sunny, there are different types of crops, and in this case, coffee is going to develop. And when it's rainy, rice is going to develop. And all different crops score in slightly different ways. When it's windy, each player in reverse clockwise order gets to move 1 raindrop on the board, and not necessarily their own particular raindrop. And when it rains, all thunderclouds are then going to empty, again triggering all sorts of areas for scoring. Once the weather phase has been completed, we check to see if there's a harvest. That's going to happen with these 3 dice, or in the last round there will always be a harvest. And all these different tiles are going to score slightly differently. Some of the basic majority scoring for who's got the most in there. When you score wheat, it is like majority scoring, but you get wheat tokens for endgame scoring. And the potatoes, whoever's second is going to score more points than whoever's first. And when it comes to rice and coffee, as we've seen, they require certain weather effects before harvest in order to trigger their full potential. At the end of the game, you're going to add together the points you've scored during the game. Whoever's got the most wheat tokens then scores 12 points. You're going to add up the points you've scored on the vote track, and whoever scored the most is going to be the winner of Petrichor. This has been the Game Pit Pit Stop. For more videos like this, check out the Game Pit channel on YouTube, and for more in-depth coverage of games, please find the Game Pit podcast.